Stephen, hello. Dennis.
Nice to meet you, Dennis.
Nice to meet you as well. Happy you could make it in. Did you find the place okay?
No, actually, I have to ask the hot dog vendor.
Jim? Yeah, no, that's my regular lunch spot, so he's a good guy. Just difficulty, did you drive or commute or?
Yeah, I drove and I parked a few blocks away. By the time I walked back in this direction, I was disoriented a little bit.
Fair enough. Well, you made it on time, so thank you. Even if you didn't, we work with that, no problem. So, is this your first time in therapy or seeing a counselor or anything like that, or?
No, I went through a number of courses of therapy.
Okay, so you're kind of familiar with the process. Well, it's your first time here, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so like any place, we're just going to go through a few things, sign them together. If you have any questions, stop us. The first part of this, it's the client acknowledgement form and signed consent. So the first part mostly speaks to the facility that Durham College Counseling Services is a free voluntary program. It provides one-on-one support for student counselors in training who is currently studying in the Addiction Mental Health Working Program. That's me, I'm in the program. So again, I'm just as new to this process as you are. Well, you've got a bit more experience with it on that side of the table, but we'll go through this together. If you have any questions, by all means stop me, and if I go too fast or you need clarification throughout any of the session, by all means, let me know. So in addition to your involvement and the information shared with the student counselor in training is confidential, meaning I will protect your personal information in all cases, except there are a few exceptions. So if we just go through them together, the first one is a release of information has been signed by you, allowing personal information to be shared with a particular person, agency, or organization. So that's more or less to speak to if you wanted something that we spoke about in our session available to your general practitioner, your family doctor to know. You can sign that consent form that we can share information with them or any hospital or any other agencies or persons that you think that could be involved that would be to your benefit. Other situations where that confidentiality may be broken is if information or a student counselor in training is legally subpoenaed by the court system. So if we're brought in for any reason regarding some of our sessions, we do take notes. And if they're subpoenaed, we're obligated to submit those to the courts. Another one is if you are suspected of being at risk of harming yourself or another person. That said, if I do feel that there is substantial risk, we'll go through that process together. This isn't stating that if you were to say, I've thought about hurting myself or I thought about suicide, that automatically that's a risk and I'm going to report you. It's a process that we go through together, and if the risk is big enough, we'll go through that process. We'll cross that line together as well. Another situation where we might break confidentiality is that you report having been physically or sexually abused by another healthcare professional, your doctor, or anyone else in that sort of title. And also in any situation of suspected child abuse, neglect, or domestic violence to a person under the age of 16, I'm also obligated to report that. And that suspected abuse or risk of harm has to be present in this day. So that's again to say if this is something well in your past, is something that you feel that needs to be brought up, bring it up. And if it is a situation where I have to report it, we'll do that together as well. But there are certain obligations that I will have to follow. I'll include you in that process as much as I can, as much as you're willing to be a part of it. But at a certain point, I do have to go forward with it. Understand a bit? Sure. Are you agreeable to all of those?
Absolutely.
All right. I'm going to sign my copy here. If you'd like to sign that. Correct. Okay. And I'm going to sign a second copy here. take that one home with you, just in case you ever need to go back over it or need to revisit it if you're wondering about it or have any questions.
Okay, I'm not gonna have too much paper working
No,
around.
that's fair.
Recycle that, save the tree.
Fair enough, I'll save it here in case you do want to take it or if you want to refer to it at any time during the meeting. So, what's brought you in today?
So, it's just like summertime, and like, like my kids are all home from school,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like chaos. It's like, I'm used to having them in school, so it's like quiet in the morning, and I do my schoolwork, and I could take care of some errands and things like that. And now it's like, it's go, go, go. They're home all the time. They're constantly, wanting food, wanting entertainment. They're fighting over the remote. It's just chaos. I can't get away from it. My schoolwork's piling up. Also, planning to move houses, but like the thought of packing and doing all that, it's just a lot of schoolwork. Wow, it's crazy. It's just absolutely wild.
Sounds.
And I'm just totally stressed out. I feel like I'm snapping at everybody all the time, and just banging my head on the wall. I feel like killing the cat.
Sounds like quite a bit on your plate.
Absolutely, it's crazy.
How many kids do you have?
I have 7 kids of my own, plus we have 2 foster kids and 3 cats, and a dog.
That is
Well,
a
they're
rather large.
kids, really. That's just pets. You don't really ask me about pets, so whatever. But yeah, there's a lot going on.
And age range?
Laundry and all that stuff.
What are the kids' age range?
Like infant, newborn to 17. It's actually good. You said you can't abuse a kid under 16, so it's that 17-year-old I can touch him after. It does get really stressful.
That's, at this point, I believe that you're being humorous. And can I ask you directly, is that something that you do with your children?
No, not usually.
Okay, well, still infant to 17, quite an age range, and all still very dependent on you. Is there a wife in the picture, or any help?
Yeah, my wife's in the picture. Just trying, a little bit of trying.
And you guys, you mentioned that you're in school full-time?
Yeah, it's a full-time program, but no school on Monday, which is good. So we get a little bit of, it's 1 day a week, although there's so many holidays. It's, so like Monday, I guess no one really works. He goes to school, but I'm grateful for that. It gives me a little time after the weekend to pull myself together.
Definitely. And you and your wife, are you both working full-time, part-time, or where's the money coming in from?
Well, we have a lot of money. We actually won the lottery like 10 years ago, so we still have some of that money coming in. So we're okay financially. It's just there's other stresses.
Definitely. Well, that's good that financial isn't one of
Yeah.
them. So what I'm hearing from you a bit is that, well, you've got a very chaotic household. There's a lot of moving parts there, a lot of individuals needing attention. All of your children are in a dependent age for the most part. And you've got your own stuff, the school going on as well as work.
Yeah, that's crazy. My kids are teenagers, some of them. They shouldn't be needing so much. As a teenager, I had summer jobs, I made my own food, I washed my own laundry, I took buses. And these kids are all they know how to do is just open their mouth for food, open the drawer for laundry.
Is this something you've discussed with them before, about kind of doing their own chores a bit more around the house, especially during the summer months?
I wouldn't say discuss, I would say maybe voice my opinion in a loud way, a little louder than I'm speaking now.
And do you find that there's much compliance when that's the approach taken?
No compliance, a lot of slamming doors and maybe even breaking something. It doesn't help. It just makes everything more chaotic. I don't know how to bring it down. The chaos is just
Okay. Okay, so what I'm hearing a bit is that 7 kids plus 2 foster, and you've got your own stuff to manage while taking care of them, but you feel like some of them could be managing a bit on their own, or at least contributing to the household in a way that.
Yeah, like helping would be that, yeah, decent help.
Do you keep?
They're around. Well, they're in school now. It's summertime.
So.
Or at least get out of the house and do something with your friends. Like, don't wait for me to serve you lunch, take you places, do stuff. Like, okay, get out there, go. It's a big world.
Okay. No, and I agree. I grew up on a farm. We did have a lot more responsibility, as a lot of my friends did. So I kind of grew up with that mentality as well.
So you see where I'm going.
Doesn't mean that me and my siblings always complied. We were still kids, and we still tried to slack off and get away with what we could. So I want to ask, on a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being organized, structured, 0 being chaos, where do you think your entire family would fit? Not just yourself, but your whole family, as far as individuals following schedules or being at least cognizant of other people's needs in their own days and times.
So like when it's the school year, it's not so bad because they actually go to school, which is a good thing. So I'd say like then it's like manageable. It's like 5. But like now I'd say it's a 1.
Okay, so the huge component there is the school, the structure of the day. There's something that.
Yeah, I mean there's just like there's no structure, there's no responsibility, there's nothing. It's just like they eat when they're hungry, they sleep when they're tired. Like people can be up all hours of night, and like it's crazy. And like no one picks up a thing. Like there's dirty plates, laundry, everything is all over the place. I can't find my phone charger. Everyone's just grabbing and using, and you kind of speak to these guys. Either they're on this screen or that screen or headphones and whatever. I'm just like I find myself yelling only at them. I'm like, and they just turn up the volume and ignore me. I mean, occasionally I'll ask them for like my credit card if they could buy more coins on their PS4 game, Gizmo, whatever.
And do you generally give them the credit card, or?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to kind of take us in a bit of a different direction. Bear with me if you follow along. If not, we can try to revisit this. But if tomorrow.
You're the professional here.
No, it's a two-way street. So anyway, if tomorrow you came from that 1 of total chaos up to near that 5, what do you think would be most different about that day during the summer that everyone in your household operated at a 5 organization?
I don't think we could ever get to a 5 the way things are.
Okay, so
It's just crazy.
let's simplify. How do you think
And,
it would look?
I have ketchup all over me.
How do you think it would look if we moved up simply from the 1 to 1.5? 1 is any amount in the direction of moving up. What do you think would be in place keeping people on that path, or keeping yourself on that path, or just having the whole household organized together?
Well, like you sound like organized really that's really the key word. That's really what organization.
Is there? Can I ask if there's a lot of communication in the house as far as who needs
Well,
what?
how am I
and who's-
everyone's wearing headphones, or the stereo's blaring, or the TV's on? Like communication? No. It's like you have to text. I have to text my wife across the house just to find out like if we need milk.
Okay,
So
so
always do. With these guys.
do you think anything like a schedule would keep people on task, even a simple one, of everyone having their 1 chore a day, and between the 11 people in the household, everyone 1 chore, that's 11 chores throughout the day. Granted, 1 is an infant, so age-appropriate chores, but. And I hear a lot that your kids are very digitally based.
Yeah, I think just like cancel the internet. Maybe we should do that. Show them like food plots.
It's a possibility. in the past, the way you've gone about it, have you found that those types of tactics have worked to your advantage and to
Yeah,
the
they just
household?
gang up. I mean, they make fun of me, say, "Oh, typical dad pulled out the router." Ha ha ha.
So do you think it's
That's like-
worthwhile
it's
looking
respectful.
or thinking up a different way of coming about it? Instead of punishment, a reward for doing it?
I think maybe if we had like a bedtime, maybe like absolute night lights out at a certain time, maybe like at least people would wake up at a normal time.
Yeah.
I think maybe things would fall into place.
Yeah. Are you familiar with like the term sleep hygiene or a sleep routine at all? No? Okay, it's pretty simple. It's just having that set structure of time before bed, that you follow a routine or pattern that your brain and body kind of get used to, that's saying that sleep is what's happening next. So whether it's a half an hour and kind of the cycle of brushing your teeth and then washing your face
These
and
kids
then
never
lying
brush their
down.
teeth. It's ridiculous.
But a simple routine that would fit each person, that could last 20 minutes, even just a 10-minute routine that they adhere to kind of in a very strict order before going to bed to kind of get them in that mind frame. Do you think that would be something that could be implemented?
If I get them to do it, that's the thing. These guys are lying to them.
Okay, so, and you've said,
I can't get them to do it.
you said in the past that kind of the more authoritarian do this or else approach hasn't worked. Is there
But it
another
should work.
approach?
I mean, come on. I mean, who's that?
And different generations have had a lot of success with that approach. I know my parents did, but the younger generations now don't seem to respond in the same manner. Can you think of any other approach that might work with some of your kids' personalities a bit more than?
I don't know, maybe pulling out the router, that's my only fallback.
And do you see that a bit more of the do this or else kind of approach?
Yeah, but maybe if I sort of soften that by telling them, okay, this is going to be 10 o'clock, you know, time to get ready for bed, and part of that is going to be that the internet's off.
Okay, so
It won't
my
be
misunderstanding
I
is,
won't just like rip it out of the wall and pull electrician to repair it afterwards.
so this would just be kind of a lights out, internet out time period throughout the
Yeah,
night?
like you're suggesting, it's hygiene.
Yeah. No, so, and a good verbal warning of, everyone knows that at 10 o'clock or 9:30 or whatever time is appropriate for the entire household to kind of have lights out, making that well known. Can you think of any kind of reward system for if during the day they do manage to get chores done?
I mean, if they're getting everything they want as it is, I don't think there's anything they're lacking that they would want as a reward.
Okay.
I guess we could do maybe something special, or maybe a dinner, or a certain amount if everyone does it. Maybe they'll push each other that way. Do it one night a week, we'll do something special.
Thank you. So just to clarify, kind of what I'm hearing is it's summertime. The house is extremely chaotic. You've got your own stuff on your plate as well that's outside of the house. Job, school, 11 kids to manage. Your wife is equal parts helping. And you feel at this moment that maybe a bit more of a sleep schedule's routine might begin to kind of curb that.
So that may actually do the trick, or at least move it right. Like you're saying, like you have to move in the right direction at least.
Exactly. It doesn't have to be leaps and bounds. As long as it's sidestepping in that direction, we're making it in the direction, correct?
That's true, that's true.
Okay. So do you think it would be a good idea to maybe start this week with the sleep routine? And then if you're willing to come back in next week, we can revisit something and maybe talk about adding something else to that system if the sleep routine seems to be working out.
Yeah, maybe that'll really work, because also, yeah, I'll get everyone up in the morning, in a better mood.
Okay. So I want to revisit a comment you made earlier in the session about your 17-year-old and how it would be okay to hit him at this point because he's no longer 17, no longer under the age of 16. Have you often disciplined your
Like,
children?
he's big guy, he's bigger than me. I don't think I could do any real harm, you know, maybe just like over the phone.
When he was younger, did you often discipline your children with physical violence or threats of?
Physical violence? You can be violent person?
I'm just trying to clarify from that comment that you made. I understand that the comment might have been more from a humorous aspect. I'm just trying to understand. That's all. I don't believe that you're a physically violent man, but I'm just trying to clarify exactly what you meant by the comment. Can you clarify that comment for me?
Sometimes kids need a spanking. That's the way I was raised. You probably also, look, we turned out okay, right? But look what's going on in the world nowadays. It's like, just like a free for all.
Yeah, and I don't disagree. I was actually raised that way. Can I ask what you
Do you have
consider?
kids?
I do not. May I ask what you consider to be a spanking?
A spanking. You said you had spankings. That was it.
Can you walk it through me? What would happen in your personal situation?
I don't know. I don't have a real routine. It depends how drunk I am, how severe the infraction is. But they're okay. Never like any trip to the hospital or anything like that. They're strong.
Okay, so at this point you feel like it's not an issue, but you did also mention drinking in that sentence. Is alcohol a factor in when you feel it appropriate to spank?
No, I rarely drink.
Okay, well, thank you for coming in today.
Pleasure.
I understand it's not easy to meet all the demands of your schedule.
Absolutely.
Would you be able to come in next week sometime? Excellent, okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll see you next week.
Okay, take care.
All right.
Sorry, yeah. Just like